It's a husband and wife thrift trip, hooray! First stop was the Goodwill, and we noticed this tub sitting on the counter that ended up being full of Legos and Connects, which smelled like really disgusting, by the way. We dug through it looking for any obvious signs of value, like expensive Bionicle sets, or minifigures, anything to justify the $25 price tag, but ultimately nothing jumped out. Most Lego bins like this are priced too high at the thrift stores these days to make it worth it, so I wouldn't suggest buying them unless you can find at least one promising piece that will pay for most of the lot. I do not do golf clubs. I know a lot of resellers do though, so it's a really good example of how there's enough for all of us, because a lot of us just specialize in different things. Yep. Okay, so if you ever see these suspended wax bowl type things, check and see if it's the Yankee Candle brand. I love selling Yankee Candle tart warmers on eBay. Some are worth more than others. If it's cheap enough, you can also pick it up just for the bowl because people are always looking for replacement bowls. This one is not Yankee Candle, nor is it an interesting subject matter or a holiday, so I'm just gonna leave it. This was something I saw at Target previously, so I knew it was pricey. When I looked it up, most of the solds are in new condition. When comping on eBay, always try to look for the correct condition. A product might have high demand new, but almost none used. It's easy to get fooled. At the time, there was an account selling it for $12.99 with free shipping. Even if I got this item for free, I don't think I could ship it and pay fees and make anything at that price. So I don't know what their secret is. So I guess my advice is don't bother trying to compete with volume sellers. Well, our first stop was a bust, so we headed to the next thrift store. Of course, I head right for the showcase to see if they have any perfume, and today they had a few minis. They were all from the same Yves Rocher gift set, but they didn't really appear to have demand, and these are not even in new condition, so I'm going to pass on them. Even if they're not worth much, I'm always happy to see vintage games at the thrift. It's like running into an old friend. I was really on the fence about this $18 bag of handheld games. They just do not sell on eBay like they once did. Markets changed, and just because it was a bolo once doesn't mean it always will be. I'm always saying you gotta check everything, and that includes these DVD binders because you just never know if somebody slipped a valuable disc-based game in there. No such luck this time. I hate thrifts that have a showcase because they never have somebody around to unlock it, so I just reached over and helped myself. A $30 Xbox One is a pretty good deal, and it's our first find of the day. Finally, we got something. I saw this Eclipse viewer, and while $70 is technically still profitable, I had a feeling I could wait until half off day and snag it then. And I was right. And I did. There's a total solar eclipse hitting the US next spring, and I guarantee this is going to shoot up in price. Or I might just keep it and use it myself since I live near the path of totality, which will probably be the only time that happens in my lifetime. I live for my cosmic events. It's not just a cute nickname, it's something I'm legitimately passionate about. I grabbed this blue Razr phone for $6 for the nostalgia factor. It's a pain in the butt to get these old 2G phones on current networks, and pretty soon, you won't be able to do it at all. But people still buy them because they're a neat piece of technology. And you know I always gotta check the camera bags. Another piece of old technology. I love my digital cameras. Sadly, this one has a broken battery door, so I have to leave it. There's just no way I can fix it. But these guys do sell pretty well, so always look them up. I really want to find a valuable rhythm clock someday. And unfortunately, I'll have to keep looking because not only is this not a rhythm branded clock, it's also not worth what they're asking for it. Actual rhythm magic motion clocks can be worth quite a lot on eBay. But this seems like the kind of thing I might find in an estate sale versus a thrift store. While I was looking around, my husband was looking through the stack of games and found that he could make some money selling Mario Sluggers on eBay. Always great to find video games to sell because none of our Goodwills let video games hit the floor anymore. Only this place does. I contemplated these Dollar Shave Club refills for a little bit. They would be another Smalls churn, and you know how much I love doing that. But much like the Meade telescope, I decided to wait for half off day and go for it then. And I did. And I got them all. This next room can have just about anything in it, and the carts are usually new stuff that they haven't stocked yet. This $8 bag had a Hoover Lynx in it with the charger and an extra battery. The unit rarely sells, but the battery and charger do for $50. so I'm gonna grab it just for the accessories. Just like the tart burner earlier in the episode, don't be afraid of picking something up just to sell a piece off of it. Another cart had some one-touch diabetes test strips, and oh look, some Lego sets. I have no idea how these ended up here because unlike the rest of the stuff in the cart, these are not new, they're old. This O means they're orange, and orange is the $1 color today. It's almost as if someone hid these and I happened to find them. They're not worth much on eBay, but my kids are gonna love them. The diabetes test strips were in a bag for $4. As long as the dates are good, these particular strips do very well. One pack was expiring quickly though, and another only had a container of 50 strips instead of 100. But I sold them in a lot of 3 for $70. So despite what some people are saying on here, the majority of used hair tools are not worth buying. This Remington wet to straight, the one with the wide plates like this, is an exception. The ones with skinnier plates don't do quite as well. I'm really not someone who tries to tell you that an entire category is good because most of the time that's not true. Knowing specific features or specific brands is a better way to go about it. Speaking of which, I have several videos about the doll category if you haven't seen those yet. I would never say all dolls are valuable, but I can show you some features about them that might be valuable. Speak of the devil, I could spot a made-to-move joint a mile away. Made-to-move Barbie dolls are extra articulated and typically sell for more than a standard doll. This one also has the added bonus of being a tall body type, and she's tastefully redressed. $6 is a lot, but I feel like I could make $6 off of this other doll's interesting tracksuit alone. So, I love the category, I'm gonna go for it. And she actually just sold while editing for $30. I'm telling you, made-to-moves are where it's at. I've been talking about this for probably 2 years now, but I think I'm finally gonna start that Thrifted Cats novelty Instagram account to document all the cat stuff I find. At this point, I realize I've lost my husband, but I had a hunch where I'd find him, and I was right. He's in the shoes. Of the two of us, my husband is the way bigger shoe seller, but he didn't find any worth flipping on eBay today. As always, great stuff in the checkout. He found a Lego set to go with his Xbox One find. I found this Mac toner that is definitely full, and the comps on eBay are decent, so for $3, I will grab it. Stop 2 was much better than stop 1. Now we head down the street to the combination bins and regular Goodwill thrift shop. A 2-for-1 stop. I waste no time digging down to the bottom for little toys and forgotten treasures. If you're there, thrifting god, please send me a Quaalude bottle. Preferably a full Quaalude. Honestly, the bins are looking a little sparse today. You don't really need to dig, which is cool, I guess. Fennel can fuck all the way off, and you can quote me. I did grab this Dino Trucks toy though, which already sold for $20. And then suddenly, time for a bins change. This worthless little alien toy kept me company while I was waiting for them to do their thing. First thing I grabbed out of the fresh bin was this bag of vintage My Little Ponies. If you're ever wondering if you found genuine vintage ponies, they're always going to say Hasbro on the foot, so it's really easy to check. A complete set of the birthday party ponies are here, so I'm going to sell those together, but there were some separate ones, and I sold one already for $13. And then I found a Lego Mario. What are the freaking odds? He sold quick for $30. Vintage old stock toiletries are always a fun flip. I had these listed on eBay, which automatically cross-lists to my Bonanza, and they sold there for $20. Unfortunately for me, the buyer did not bother to read what they were purchasing at all, and their message insisting on a free return label really rubbed me the wrong way. So I said, this is Bonanza. I do not care about my feedback on here, so I'm gonna take a stand. 4 days later, she sent a message to me that was clearly meant for PayPal, that she is a 77-year-old woman on a fixed income and I need to send her a free return label, and the item is significantly not as described, and that I was rude in my reply. Sure, you could make a case that that was rude, but in my opinion, it's just the truth, served a little cold and a little straightforward. But you know what? When you give me these ingredients, that's what I'm cooking up. The objective truth is you bought 2 trial size bars of soap that are clearly labeled as trial size right on the front of them, and the weight was accurately listed in multiple places. And if she had approached me saying that she was sorry that she hadn't read what she was purchasing and that she would be willing to pay to send them back for a return, I would have said yes. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. Every freaking time I come here, someone does this blocking the path thing, like, please, please, please just get out of my way. God, why can't you be Quaalude? Remember when everyone was stealing the Braun heads, which rendered thousands of dolls completely worthless and destined for the landfill? Good times. So to recap what we got at the bins, a bag of vintage My Little Pony, these ball jar labels, which I didn't show, but they're incredibly light and not worth a ton, the Physoderm bars, my husband got some ink, a DS sleeve, a mouse, some Dymo labels, and some toner that sells really, really well, so he was the winner of the bins. I still want to do a full-length bins video sometime. I just haven't figured out how yet because I don't want to be that reseller going in there with a chest camera. I just don't want to do it. Then we went over to the regular Goodwill side to look around. It's always funny to spot what I assume are other resellers with their phones out looking at items in front of them. Speaking of which, there's my husband. I spotted a perfume, but unfortunately it had no price on it. And at this store, the cashiers won't price it for you. They're pretty strict about that. And that really sucked because this looked pretty valuable on eBay. But you'll notice there's an employee currently stocking right next to me. A cashier might not be able to help me, but maybe this stalker could. When they came by again, I mentioned the perfume had no price, and she said she would take it to the back and it would come out priced on the next cart, to just give her a few minutes. So I did the completely sane thing and stalked the door until the next cart came out because I really didn't want somebody else getting to that perfume before me. But I didn't have to worry because she made sure that I got it.
There you go. Thank you so much.
And for just $3 too. Unfortunately, the cart and the rest of this store did not have anything else I could sell for a profit on eBay. Back home, we got to play everyone's favorite game with the $30 Xbox One. Does it have a disc? Place your bets now. The answer was yes. Halo the Master Chief Collection. And then I gave all the dirty ponies a bath and did their hair as well. And if you loved this video, you'll probably love my Instagram account because while I only post here about once a month and it's not always thrifting content, my Instagram is chock full of all of my thrifting finds and eBay sales, usually in my stories daily. So head on over there and give it a follow. If not, just subscribe here and you'll be the first to know when I make a new video. Hit the like if you liked the video or leave me a comment. Those all help the video with the algorithm, but I also just really love reading your comments. Now get out there, have fun, and find something good.